picture this for a second. You look over, and your dog is suddenly acting really weird. They're wobbly, they can't seem to walk straight, and you can just tell something is very, very wrong. You'd be terrified, right? Well, today we're going to walk through one pet owner's real-life panic, following their frantic online search for answers when they suspected their dog got into some marijuana. And this is the post that started it all. A Reddit user, clearly in a panic, uploads a video of their little dog with this desperate plea. You can feel the fear in their words, right? She's only little and she's scaring me. This is that moment every pet owner dreads, and it kicked off a huge community effort to figure out what was going on. So that's the big question, isn't it? When that panic hits, what's the right move? In this case, the owner had a hunch about what might have happened, and a whole community of other dog lovers and even some vet professionals started putting the puzzle pieces together right away. Okay, so let's start where the owner did, with this really terrifying set of observations. It wasn't just one thing that was off. It was a whole bunch of scary behaviors happening one after another. So here's the list of symptoms they laid out. The dog was wobbling, totally uncoordinated, even falling over. Then there was this bizarre burst of zoomies, that frantic running around, which was immediately followed by complete lethargy. But here's the kicker, the key piece of information. The owner added there was a possibility she could have eaten marijuana, and that one little phrase pointed everyone in a very specific direction. And this is where it gets really interesting. You can see the power of collective knowledge here, because experienced owners and vet techs in the thread almost instantly zeroed in on the most likely diagnosis, all based on that very specific list of symptoms. Pretty much everyone came to the same conclusion. This looked like a classic case of marijuana toxicity. We have to remember, for a dog, being high isn't fun at all. Their brains actually have way more cannabinoid receptors than ours do, which makes them incredibly sensitive to THC. It's not a chill experience for them. It's a super disorienting and often terrifying neurological event. And this right here shows exactly why everyone was so certain. Look at the official list of symptoms for THC toxicity in dogs. Severe lack of coordination? Check. Lethargy or agitation? Check. Overreacting to sounds, which could explain the zoomies? Check. The owner's report was like a textbook example. But, and this is a really crucial point, while all the signs were pointing to weed, you can never be 100% sure. As a few smart people in the thread pointed out, that wobbliness could also be a sign of other really serious stuff, like an inner ear infection, or a major neurological problem, or even another type of poisoning. And that uncertainty makes the next step absolutely critical. So this is where the advice online got messy. You had two very different camps forming, which must have been so confusing and scary for an owner who's already completely panicked. On one side, you had comments like this one. People were trying to be reassuring, basically saying, hey, don't worry about the vet. They can't do much anyway, and she'll just sleep it off. It's well-intentioned, but potentially dangerous advice. Because then you had the other side, for more experienced owners and professionals who jumped in to say, whoa, wait a minute. They pointed out that high doses of THC absolutely can be fatal, especially for a little dog like this one, and a vet can provide life-saving supportive care, like IV fluids, to help them through it. Thankfully, a veterinary technician who works in toxicology cut through all the noise with this super clear, no-nonsense guide. These are the absolute red flags. If your dog can't walk, if they're super agitated or shaking, or if you can't wake them up easily, you go to the vet, period. And maybe most importantly, if you aren't 100% positive what they've got into, you go. It's just not worth the risk. Okay, so let's say you've been to the vet and they've given in the all clear to monitor your pup at home. What now? Well, the focus completely shifts to supportive care, just making your dog as safe and comfortable as possible while they ride it out. That same vet tech gave this amazing practical checklist. First, you want to minimize stimuli. A dark, quiet room is best because their senses are on overdrive. Second, create a safe space. No stairs, no high furniture they could fall off of. Number 3, only take them out on a leash, even for potty breaks, because they can be disoriented and wander off. And you've got to monitor their breathing, especially if they've been vomiting, to make sure they don't aspirate anything. This whole recovery can take up to 3 days, so it's all about safety and comfort. All right, so after the immediate danger is over, the conversation naturally moves to the most important topic of all, prevention. How do you make sure this never, ever happens again? And the community came through with some really simple, effective tips. Basically, you have to treat cannabis products just like you would any other medication or household chemical. Store them in sealed, dog-proof containers and put them up high in a cabinet or in a locked drawer. Be super mindful of stuff left out. One person even shared their new house rule, which I kind of love. If any weed is left out, it gets flushed. Drastic, but effective. And I think this user really hit the nail on the head. The best advice wasn't about blaming the owner. It was about recognizing that accidents happen, and the most important thing is to learn from it. You learn the risk, and you create a safer home for your pet moving forward. And thankfully, after all that panic and debate, this story has the best possible ending. The owner listened to the advice, went to the emergency vet, the dog got some activated charcoal to help absorb the toxins, and they posted this update. She was fine. A huge sigh of relief for everyone following along. You know, this whole story is such a powerful reminder that our pets really count on us to keep them safe from dangers they just don't understand. And it leaves us with a really simple question to think about. Accidents happen, for sure. So, is your home really pet-proofed for the unexpected? What's one small change you could make today to make things just a little bit safer?